Hi, this is Rabbi Young. Thank you for tuning in to the weekly video email. When I was a kid, I had this book that was a spoof on Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. And one of the spoofing references said, "No person is worth more than another, and none more than $12.95. The Torah portion we're reading today is Bechukotai. It's the very last Torah portion in the book of Leviticus. And very often we'll say things like, oh, it's Leviticus, like, ugh, it's all priestly laws, it's all purity laws, it's all stuff that we don't really need today. And while I wholeheartedly agree, it probably gets to one of its worst moments at the end of the Torah portion, right before we finish with the book of Leviticus. It says, when any person vows to Adonai the equivalent for a human being, the following scale shall apply. If it is a male from 20 to 60 years of age, the equivalent is 50 shekels of silver by sanctuary weight. If it is a female, the equivalent is 30 shekels. Now, you don't have to be any great scholar to understand that the Torah is valuing females as less than men. This is a struggle we are fighting today, equal work for equal pay. This is a huge problem in the way the Bible views males versus females. Of course, in today's world, we understand that male and female is not the only way that people could identify, that gender has a scale. In fact, the Talmud recognizes 6 different genders. The 4 most common are male, female, tumtum, where the private parts are covered and one cannot tell whether the person is male or female, and androgynos, where the person is displaying both male and female genitalia. And then there are cases where one is dominant over the other, and the names change around a little bit based on one being more dominant. And then genetically, we also know that we tend to think of the world as XX and XY. But in actuality, there are lots of different combinations of X and Y that can determine a person's gender. So knowing that there is fluidity among the genders, knowing that we have long bucked the notion that one gender or the other can or cannot do certain tasks, why don't we just start treating them as equal? Why don't we take this couple of verses from Leviticus 27 and say, you know what? That's not who we are anymore. We are advancing in our thoughts of how people are valued, and we want to value a person based on the job they're doing rather than on what they look like, the color of their skin, their gender identity, their sexuality, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can make all the excuses you want, but if a person is just as productive as another, there's no reason that their worth by sanctuary weight should be the same number of shekels. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful week.